Welcome to the Take Your Power Back show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired. Be encouraged. Be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yater.
Good evening, patriots, warriors, and freedom fighters. Welcome. Welcome to the battleground where we, the people, ignite a revolution, a movement to give power back to we, the people. This is the Take Your Power Back show with your host, Kim Yater. And tonight, we're unleashing round 6 of the epic California Governor Face Off. Come on, guys. This is it. We've done round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and round 5, and now round 6 with your governors, all of those vying to serve you and to take our California back. It's your rallying call to transform Sacramento and to dismantle the grip of oppression and to truly take our California back. Before we dive in, we're going to take a moment to honor those that need to be honored in this time. The world, not just the United States, but the world has been impacted. Everything is shifting. Everything is transforming. This is the turning point. First, we're going to honor a lion who's shown us how to fight. Charlie Kirk, you know him well. Charlie is the spark that lit this blaze, the founder of Turning Point USA, rallying thousands of young patriots, exposing the woke machine with unapologetic truth. His stadiums, packing rallies, his fearless stand against cultural decay, Charlie's cry to take our identity in Christ back and take our country back is why we are here. Charlie taught us to fight smart, fight fierce, fight and love like Jesus. Today, Charlie, we the people honor you. We the people choose to fight like Charlie. Tonight, we salute you, Charlie Kirk, as the heartbeat of the movement. Patriots, freedom fighters, let's declare it now that the fight we choose to fight is the fight that Charlie fought. It was not a fight with just the weapons of this kinesthetic, this kinetic war. No, it was the weapons that come from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This is not a time to preach, but this is a time to awaken. We're going to fight like Charlie did. We're going to fight. That's exactly what we're going to do. We have a song in honor of Charlie to kick us off and remind us of how we get to fight like Charlie. You heard that, right? We get to choose how we're going to fight this fight. When you saw this fight, what's the fight that you're going to choose to fight? How are you going to stand in the gap? And which weapons are you going to fight with? This is a spiritual war that we are in. This is a song by a dear friend of mine. His name is Tom Kaz. Tom was one of our performers in the Take Our Border Back movement that reached hundreds of millions across the nation. Not just nation, internationally. That's the truth. This song is powerful. The day that Charlie died. Tom will be joining us at the upcoming Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown on November 8th. before we go anywhere tonight, we're going to put honor where honor is due. Our good friend, our dear brother, Charlie Kirk, and a song by Tom Katz.
He was just a boy of 18 when he saw the call to lead. Built a fire in the heartland, planted one determined seed. He said, let's give a voice to freedom. Let's let the young ones speak. So he traveled coast to coast to make the strong stand with the weak. So we raise the flag of reason. We hold the line of truth. In the face of fear and darkness, his courage is the proof. On the day that Charlie died, 1 million voices cried for the courage of a young man who refused to run and hide. He lit a torch of reason in the storm of endless nights. And though they took his life away, they'll never dim his light. From the halls of every campus to the streets of every town, he stood up for the values that some tried to tear down. He believed in open voices. He believed in an honest fight. Now the truth he sparked will echo on, carried in the morning light. So we carry forth his banner. We'll keep his dream alive. In the spirit of his mission, his legacy will thrive. On the day that Charlie died, 1 million voices cried for the courage of a young man who refused to run and hide. He lit a torch of reason in the storm of endless nights. And though they took his life away, they'll never dim his light. We'll remember Charlie's courage as we raise his banner high. For the day that Charlie died became the day we learned to fly.
The day that Charlie died, Tom Katz. We get to fight like Charlie, and you're seeing the impact of the life he lived across the entire world. That, my brothers and sisters, is impact. And that's the impact that we get to make in this time. We get to make the most of every opportunity, for the days are evil. So let's make the most of every opportunity. Now, we've got a big night ahead of us. I've got texts coming in. We've got messages coming in. And everybody's like, where are the governors? Where are those that are running for governor? We're so excited to see them. We're going to turn our eyes now on the state of California. And we're going to ask ourselves a couple of questions. What is the true state of California in these unprecedented times? And to really answer that question, I think Tom McDonald put it best.
The propaganda is on every channel. They think we stupid like the truth is just too hard to handle. Put on your camo, it's a culture war and load the ammo. They want Antifa ruling everything like it's Seattle. And they want anyone who's fighting to be dead and canceled. They want rainbows in the classrooms and 15 different bathrooms and white guys that hate black dudes. They They want war, they don't want peace. They want fentanyl in our streets. They want borders to be weak. I swear the devil lives in California. He a politician. He passing bills that bring chaos and division. Yeah, the devil lives in California. Should be in prison. He got horns, but he tries to keep them hidden. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that. They say that. They love America. We know it ain't that. The devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it. We ain't switching. Y'all are tripping. I guess God just built us different. They get celebrities to do they talking. They get mansions while they cram us all into apartments. Tell us it's cool to stay in school and then make you retarded. If you ain't liberal, then they treat you like you human garbage. If you speak up, then you a target. They want their voice through an amplifier. Violence and our flag on fire. No voter ID required. They want war, they don't want peace. They want defund the police. They want you surrounded by screens. The devil lives in California. He a politician. He passing bills that bring chaos and division. Yeah, the devil lives in California. Should be in prison. He got horns, but he tries to keep them hidden. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that. They say that. They love America. We know it ain't that. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it. We ain't switching. Y'all are tripping. I guess God just built us different, dog. The devil is a Democrat. That's a fact, that's the truth. Look how bad that it gets when it's blue. The devil is a Democrat. That's a rap, it ain't news. And the way they treat America is proof. I swear the devil lives in California, $100 bills. He knows everyone in Hollywood and parties in the hills. Give you everything you ever wanted, plus a couple mil for your soul and your vote. It's a deal. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that, they say that. They love America, we know it ain't that. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it, we ain't switching. Y'all are tripping, I guess God just built us different. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that, they say that. They love America, we know it ain't that. The devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it, we ain't switching. Y'all are tripping, I guess God just built us different, dog. The devil is a Democrat.
Tom McDonald, the devil is a Democrat. I'm sure that our candidates have a lot to say about that video. And we know that the devil runs on both sides, both Republican and Democrat. That is the truth. And the real question is, who is ready to step into the fight and stand for the truth? Guys, you are in for such a treat. We're going to get the party started. But before we do that, you need to know your system is failing. Our California system is failing. And I know you know. Gavin Newsom's antics have bled our Golden State dry. 180,000 souls. These are real human beings lost to homelessness hell. Crime spiking 12% in LA. Kids preyed upon by human traffickers. Bills like AB 495 stealing parental rights like a thief in the night. Gerrymandering maps, rig the elections, crumbling roads, mock our progress, energy bills crush families, farmers fighting to get water to their crops, and sanctuary state madness floods our borders with chaos. Enough is enough. We're not begging for change. We, the people, are igniting the change. We, the people, are rising, uniting, roaring to take our California back. And tonight, 3 Titans had planned to step into the arena. The first Titan, Steve Hilton, media mogul and Fox News powerhouse, wielding razor-sharp strategy to dismantle the elite machine. Next, David Kallenberg, farmer mogul, let's put that straight. Farmer mogul fighting for our food security and rural heartland. No more woke land grabs. And then we've got Jim Athens, real estate visionary, turning the tide on housing horrors, building a California where families thrive. These aren't politicians. At least we don't need politicians. We need warriors committed to slashing homelessness, crushing crime, shielding kids, axing bills like AB 495, securing the borders. Thank you, Tom Holman. Ending energy extortion, ensuring abundant water for California's future generations. And these warriors that you will tonight begin to choose and go, that's the one that's for me. They are vying for your choice. They're vying to represent you, we, the people, and taking our California back. So let's do it. Let's dive deep with each of these candidates in their own segment, asking the brutal question, their bold visions, no punches pulled. This is raw. It's real. It will be electrifying tonight. The spark for total reclamation of our golden state. Flood the chat right now. Share this show. Rally your freedom fighters. Tag everybody. Hashtag take your power back. Hashtag take our California back. We're live across various platforms and united and unstoppable. As 2nd Chronicles 7:14 has been leading the way in this initiative to take our California back, I will remind you, this is the voice of God where he thunders, if my people will humble themselves, pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal their land. California, we're ready for some healing. We're taking our power back, and we are awakening now, right now. Let's kick it off. The Take Your Power Back California Governor Face-Off, round 6. Let's go. So, guys, I think we are ready to bring in our contenders. Are we not? And before we bring them in, I want to remind you, tickets are sitting there waiting for you, and they are running out. We are so surprised by the response. Actually, we're really not that surprised because we know we're in the fight for the upcoming Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. This is November 8th at Awaken Church in San Marcos, California. Go to takeourcaliforniaback.com. That's takeourcaliforniaback.com. This isn't just a show, it's a call to arms. I want you to picture this for a second. All of your favorite conservative contenders united on one stage, committed to taking our California back. I want to give you guys a little picture. That way you get to see what we're actually looking at here. All right, guys, without further ado, it's time because I see David Kallenberg in the background. I see him ready to stand in the gap. Let's introduce our first candidate tonight for the governor of California, David Kallenberg, farmer, mogul, fighting for our food security and rural heartland. No more woke land grabs. David is stepping up to defend our rural soul. Before we bring David into the room, I want you guys to see him at work. You mean you really get to see him at work? Yeah. I am absolutely blown away that we have a farmer that is vying to run for governor of the great state of California. I want you to meet him. He's a warrior and he is ready to take on the fight. Let me see if I can find him because I'm looking, and I know it was on TikTok. I got it here. I got it. I see him. It is David. David Kallenberg. Here we go. Come on, David.
So yesterday I posted a video about our state water board curtailing our water on our farms up here in Northern California. Some concerned citizens decided to question the accuracy of the state water board's measuring device. Come to find out, it was off and they had no right to curtail our water. So they issued a reinstatement because of the concerned citizens finding out that they were wrong on how much water was at the measuring device. So imagine that, unelected officials measuring our water, it not accurate, they're curtailing us, and then they're reversing the curtailment like, oh sorry, like it's time, it's so time, it's such bullshit. They technically, I mean, luckily it was only one day. I mean, they pretty much could have just ruined everybody's livelihood. It's such bullshit. And it's time something is done.
eases its way out so that we can stay connected. We've got some rapid fire questions for you today. And you know what? I want you to go as deep as you need to go, but I want you to know that we will likely hit every area. I want people to get to know who this David Kallenberg is, who this farmer mogul is. And I got to say, you had a beef store. You got a lot of good stuff going for you. It's kind of exciting. I've been checking you out in the back end, but I want you to tell me, I mean, you are the farmer mogul fighting for our heartland, right? So
Absolutely.
David, what was the distinct moment where you said, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I am going to run for the governor of the Golden State of California?
Yeah, so back in November, my family we go to Anaheim every year for Thanksgiving. And so back last November, we were going to go to Anaheim for Thanksgiving. And on my way there, I wasn't driving, so I was on my phone, and I was actually watching Charlie Kirk's live stream that he did every day. And I think they were talking about California and some stuff. And so I ended up subscribing. Like, out of all the things that I subscribe to, he's the only one I've ever paid for. And so that day I subscribed to him and I watched his videos all the way to LA. And when I got to LA, I took my kids to Hollywood, and I'd been there like 20 years prior. And I was like, I want to take my kids to Hollywood, check it out, because back then it was like the thing to do. It was a cool place to be. It's kind of like going to Vegas. Took my kids there, and I just couldn't believe how bad the place was. It was just mind blowing. And I'm like, I'm not bringing my kids here again. So I went back to my family's residence and started watching videos and started looking up the state budget and looked at who was running for governor. And I was like, if these people can run for governor, I can run for governor. So that's kind of where it came about. It was about a one-day thing, a one-day trip down to there that really just was like, somebody's got to step in.
I love it. I love it. So I love it that you saw a need and you're like, you know what? I'm going to meet that need. I'm going to stand in the gap. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, tell us what equips you as a farmer mogul, your experience, what equips you to take on the role of governor for the state of California with, let's just say you're taking on a country. It's kind of like taking on a country. What equips you
for sure? That? Well, two things: common sense and the ability to say no. That none of these people have the ability to do. I mean, those two things right there sets me miles apart from what's out there.
And common sense and the ability to say no. So what is it about what you do every day? Tell us a little bit more about what your life looks like and how you are equipped to say no and to have that common sense.
Yes, I mean, I own a 1,000-acre farm that I manage by myself. I do all the work. So I'm up every day at 6 a.m. and I'm out in the fields until 11 o'clock at night, working every day. I have to manage my farm's budget. I have to pay all the bills. I have to buy fuel. I have to do everything. And so I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it takes to manage budgets. I know what it takes to, do all that stuff. So I got a lot of experience. I've been doing it a long time, and, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
I got it. Now, food security is your fight. How do you stop foreign land grabs and ensure California feeds itself?
Well, I think that the government's working now to kind of try to stop some of that, especially with the new administration, but obviously Gavin's bought and paid for. So until somebody gets in there and can stop that stuff, they're going to keep doing it. I think that, I don't know how true it is, but there's a lot of, like, the Palisades situation, and it seems like a lot of foreign people are coming there and trying to buy those lots to build low-income housing to take advantage of that government money. So it's not on my watch, especially when it comes to farms.
Well, what will you do to ensure that does not happen?
I mean, I'll fight every day of my life for that. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm not, a government official. I'm not a politician. I don't know how they weasel their way in, but I'm going to find out how, and I'm going to put an end to it. So whatever it takes, and whoever I need to get to back me.
Got it. Now, a lot of the candidates have been partnering together, having conversations, looking on how they can work together. They've played with the thoughts of, hey, what if I'm the governor and you're my, assistant AG or whatever the position is. They're kind of throwing that out there and, testing the waters. Have you been having conversations with other gubernatorial candidates or those that are in positions that would be equipped to have common sense values and make common sense choices? Have you been in communication and been kind of creating a plan of action?
Yes, absolutely. So last weekend I went to a Steve Hilton event and met up with him, and we discussed a lot of stuff and a lot of the issues about the curtailing of the water and the man-made drought and the emergency regulations that Gavin Newsom has in effect. And then I also met him at another one of his events on Sunday. And we went and shot some videos up by the Klamath River where they removed the dams and talked some more there. And what I'm seeing is on the Republican side, we are all collaborating together to figure out who's best for this and who can make this happen. And we're putting all our ideas together to make this happen and make it a reality instead of, pointing fingers and arguing and saying that guy's bad news. We're not trying to do none of that. We're trying to make this happen. We're trying to work together, be a team.
I love that. David, this is the first time I've seen anything like that, in my lifetime. My personal experience up and close of seeing the collaboration and the conversations being had to truly take our California back and give the power back to we the people where it belongs. So that is really great to hear. Now let's talk a bit about border security and sanctuary state. Would you end sanctuary policies and deploy the National Guard to secure our border when you are the governor of California?
I would definitely get rid of sanctuary cities for sure. That's a bogus that should never have happened. And whatever we need to do to secure a border, we need to do it. So whatever power we have to make that happen will happen.
Let's traverse for a second. Let's talk education. Wow, California has been hit, man. It is bill after bill after bill of taking our rights and powers away. So how do you restore local control in schools and protect kids and parents from AB 495's overreach and other bills that are being passed while we are being distracted?
Yeah, so stuff like that, like AB 495, I mean, first day in office, if they can repeal it or whatever we need to do, we need to make it happen. So that's definitely going to happen for sure. I think any Republican person on the ticket's going to do that, not just me. So anybody who could get in there is going to do that. So that would be definitely, I mean, I have some ideas for it. You want me to tell you what I got, my plans are
Well,
with
yeah.
stuff?
So David, this is your opportunity to bring the meat. We don't want
Yeah.
just a
So,
vegetables, a roll. Bring the meat because this is your time to show up. What are you going to do to take our California?
So, one, we need transparency in classrooms. We need to require schools to publicly post curriculum, the budgets and library material, mandate parental notification for changes in student gender identity or pronouns. We need Parents' Bill of Rights, support legislation to, for Federal Bill of Rights, which guarantees access to curriculum and school budgets, 2 parent-teacher conferences per year, notification of school violence or disciplinary actions, protect against schools sharing student data with tech companies, local control over school boards, empower parents to run for school boards and seats, influence policy. Opposite state level mandates that override local decisions and curriculum and discipline. We need to protect our kids from political indoctrination, ban critical race theory, political charged content in K through 12 classrooms, ensure age appropriate instructions and parental opt out for sex education, school choice and accountability, expand charter schools and voucher programs, tie funding to performance, not bureaucracy.
If you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I like this. I like the fact that we've got a real plan behind the scenes. That's what it's going to take, because if somebody steps into this role and they do not have a plan and they do not have the ability to collaborate, work together, to put people in the positions where they're going to flourish, then there's no way we're going to take our California back. So I like the fact that
No,
you've
for
got a
sure.
plan.
It's, it's if I was in office and there was a situation with the school and we need to have a meeting about the schooling, I want to meet with parents, not politicians about it, because politicians don't do our kids any good. So it's the parents.
Come on, it
So
is the parents. Now, let's talk about gender for a second, because you mentioned that when we were talking about education. So let's go to our core beliefs. Core beliefs for so many Californians that are conservative, that are Republican, and even on the other sides, there are Democrats that have values that are similar to Republican values. Now, we've got those that are far on the left that certainly do not share our values. So I am curious, are you somewhere in the middle, or are you solid on your stand? So let's talk pro-life. So is pro-life important to you? Let's talk gender. What is gender? Male, female? What do we do with gender? And what is marriage to you? What's your stand on pro-life, gender, and marriage?
there's some very good questions here. So, I think it's hard because, I'm very pro-life, but at the same time, I don't think I have the right to tell somebody what to do with their body, even if I disagree with what they're doing. I think it's their choice. Because a lot of people are against abortions. I get it. I don't think it's a great idea. I think there could be alternative options, but it's just like vaccines. So I don't think you can tell somebody you can't get abortions and then tell somebody, about vaccines, because there's a lot of people on our side that aren't for vaccines, including my other half. So, I just don't think that I should be the one telling anyone to do with their body, regardless if I don't like it or not. So that's where I'm at with that. You know, if I believe it's male and female. That's all there is. If you want to pretend to be something else, that's your choice. I'm not gonna stop you from doing it, but don't come try to force me to, you know, do what you want and to do anything. And there ain't gonna be no males in our females' bathrooms or vice versa. It's just not gonna happen on my watch.
Got that. And where do you stand on marriage?
Um, well, um, I mean, to me, I mean, I know that, uh, in the people in the faith community, it's very important to them. But uh, as for me, it's honestly these days, it's just a signed piece of paper. It isn't what it used to be back when our great grandparents were married, or even our grandparents were married. Like it's just so different now. And in today's society, people get married 10 times. Like when my grandparents were married, that was it. They married who they were being with the rest of their life. So it's hard because if it was that way, I would advocate for it all the time, like it should be that way, but it's not. And so it's just a piece of paper anymore, and it's sad. So,
Got it. I got it. And what role, David, what role does your faith play in your everyday life and in you taking on this position as the governor of California?
well, I am an ordained minister. I've been that way for about 24 years. I
Hmm.
went to Catholic school as a kid. My family was very Christian. I don't think they're too far off, but you know, uh, in my great grandpa, he went to church every Sunday. My aunt they had their own church. I went to Sunday school every Sunday. They were Christian. They still are. Um, in my personal life today, I'm unfortunately just too busy to do stuff like that. I mean, I 100% believe in God. Read the lots of verses in the Bible. Um, you know, um, but I am just a hardworking farmer. So,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
you know,
So let's just pause there for a second. When I think back, when I hear you say I'm just a hardworking farmer, I grew up in a home where I learned at a very young age what it was to work, whether it was picking up a big old sponge to wash a car in a truck at 3 or 4 years old, helping my mom and dad, um, like mowing the lawn, picking the weeds, and we had a lot of weeds to pick, to having a newspaper route of 140 houses at 10 years old. So work ethic goes a long way. What is it about your work ethic as a farmer that is going to drive you to truly shift California and activate all those you work with?
Yeah, so I work nonstop, 7 days a week. I don't think in my life there's not, here comes the weekend, I get to take the weekend off. I don't think like that. I think when I open my eyes, it's work. When I close my eyes, it's work. So that's all it is. And so, you put me in a situation, if I'm trying to achieve something, the work I'm going to put into that is going to be tenfold of anyone else. It's going to be from when I open my eyes until I close them every day of the week, 7 days a week. I don't just stop. I don't go on vacation. I don't, take a break. You're not going to find me spending a bunch of money off on some lavish vacation. I don't fly nowhere. I don't do anything. I work. So if I was governor of California, that's all I'd be doing is working. No, I'm not going to be playing. So, especially on tax dollar money.
Speaking of tax dollars, well, let's land right there. What are you going to do about our taxes?
So, it's something I've tried to look into a lot, and, they have it so rigged. It's really, until somebody's in that power position to really be able to understand and know what to do to undo it all is going to be difficult because so many people rely on what they've created. And I mean, you just go in and want to cut it all day one, like it's going to be really hard to do that. I think that the first step is figuring out the waste and abuse and trying to, find out where the money's at and where it went and stop that stuff. And hopefully, that can create some tax relief by not needing that money, for bogus things that they're doing, high speed rail and who knows what else.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Time for Doge,
yeah,
California
absolutely.
Doge, and we know there are people that are already doing the work behind the scenes. So it's a matter of gathering the experts together so that we can
Yep.
really see the numbers. All right,
Yep.
let's come up with a solution. Let's talk about water. Water is imperative. And salute, I've got my water with a little bit of sustained sport in it. Game changer. Love my water. We can't live without water. We need water. And we need water in this great state of California. So let's talk, David.
Sure.
California's water crisis is struggling. Our heartland drive winters have slashed state water project allocations to just 35% as of February 2025. They say with La Nina looming for more drought whiplash and reservoirs straining under record heat as farmer mogul, David, what's your no BS plan to secure abundant water for the generations to come?
Well, first we got to get rid of all the unelected officials that are raining down on everybody and trying to control it when they have no clue what they're doing. Um, so that's going to be the first step. There could be a lot of water in the state for farmers and for everyone if it was managed properly and not just controlled by somebody in an office, that has no clue what's really going on. So I think that's the big thing is getting in and changing the State Water Control Board and getting rid of all their unelected officials that have no clue what they're doing other than trying to make it hard on everybody and hard on the farmers. And then we need to, invest in the infrastructure that we've already had the money for, and doing that and store our water and secure our water and quit chasing false claims of these fish and those fish. If they truly wanted to help those fish, they would try to figure it out and not just blame it on the farmer or whatever they're trying to do. And so it's going to take a lot of common sense and a lot of people that know what's really going on. You hear a lot of things about the Delta and why there's no fish in the Delta. Well, a lot of the Delta is filled in with silt. And so, a lot of the Delta is like 3, 4 feet deep. Well,
Mm-hmm.
all the strip bass and all them just eat all the fish. So
Mm.
if they went in and dredged that like they used to back in the day, and it was 10, 12 feet, salmon and fish like that, they could swim below where the strip bass and all that stuff that can only go 3 feet down, and they would survive. But environmentalists have shut all that dredging down, other than for the ports areas. So there's a lot of things that they could do in that, and it would create more water. It would create more groundwater. Right now it's just flush into the ocean. And then you hear all these high density housing and stuff like that. Well, where's the water coming for that? They're going to take it from us, the farmers, to give it to those people. Well, there needs to be things. If you want high density housing somewhere and there's not enough water, then maybe you need to put in a desalination plant off the ocean for your project before you go and build these houses, and not say, well, we'll just take it from the farmer, blame the fish on the farmer, and then he don't have no water, so we'll just send it down here. Like, it's just a game, and it's just time that someone with common sense and that will say no to those people and get rid of them comes in and does it. So.
Yeah, here we are. Common sense. Now let's bring that common sense to the financial deficit. David, California's 12 billion. Oh my gosh, is that just nuts? Just to even say it is sick. California's $12 billion deficit, black hole, just keeps growing from 2025-26, swelling to 20 to 30 billion yearly by 26-27 isn't just numbers. It's strangling rural farms with slashed water subsidies and regulatory chokeholds amid drought whiplash. As the farmer mogul who scaled ops through regulatory hell, what's your dirt under the nails plan to slash waste? Like auditing AG handouts gone wrong, or ag handouts gone wrong, and revive the heartland's economy without hiking taxes or working families. And then last, what qualifies your boots on the ground grit to turn this fiscal flood into fertile ground?
Yeah, so what I always say is that you don't go buy fancy new things that you want if you don't have the money. And so the problem is, like, high speed rail. That's a want that they want. They shouldn't be buying it. If they had a surplus of money and they wanted to do that, that's one thing. But when you put us in debt for who knows what, that stuff's got to stop. There's so many pet projects that are pointless. It's just like where I live, they're redirecting the river. Like, there's like about 200 feet of the river, and they're moving it about 100 feet over for no reason really, other than restoration for the river. That's one thing if it was you had a surplus of money and you wanted to do that, but to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to move the river 50 feet is a waste of money. So, and there's so many if I mean, everybody can look and see all the different projects and just call them out. And it's like, if you got rid of all those wanted projects versus needed projects,
Hmm.
we would save a ton of money. And, obviously all the illegals taking up a lot of the money, everything that goes on. I mean, it's just crazy how much money they just waste. So I think by getting just rid of the waste alone is going to be huge on the deficit. So.
It's probably going to take some compromise. So the question is, where do we really compromise? California's gridlock with a Democratic supermajority demands real talk or compromise. What principles are you willing to bend on to build coalitions and get results, like streamlining regulations or rural urban partnerships? And what red lines are you unwilling, like no go, no cross, no matter the cost, to protect our families, farms, and freedoms?
Well, there's definitely got to be some red tape cut and a lot of it. Um, you know, it's I just know that we can't sacrifice anything for our veterans. We're not going to cut them in any way, shape, or form, and we can't do the same for our seniors and or our kids. Like, those are the three main things that we cannot cut anything from. And you hear a lot of it about Social Security, and you hear a lot of it about the veterans and all that stuff. And those are my three no-goes, that you're not cutting any of that. Um, People need to get back to work and quit living off the government. And that's one of my biggest things. There's so many people out there that are able to work that have just a free ride. They want a free phone, a free this, a free that. And that stuff needs to stop. People need to go back to work. We need to get people working again. And I think if we can try to get people more motivated to work, we might, make some ground in that area. So I think that's important.
I love it. I love how you're not going to compromise the children. You're not going to compromise the elderly. Speaking of children, you have a baby on the way, yes?
Yes, I do. Yes, any day between now and the
Amazing.
9th, I think. So, yeah,
Amazing. So you're on standby. You're like,
I
Kim,
am very on standby. A lot of people ask it, why aren't you down in Southern California? I'm like, man, this could happen in 5 minutes from now.
and how many children do you have, David?
This will make 6.
Oh my gosh, you have 6 children. That's
Yep.
amazing. I have 4. 6 is a lot of kids. Okay, to build a facility called Peace of Heaven, which was a transformed prison that was kind of a low security prison for women, and that's going to be a safe space for those that are being trafficked. When you look for the real numbers on the internet, you never get the real numbers of those trafficked. It is horrible what's happening, and we've got to stop the trafficking, especially on rural smuggling routes. Now, you might know something about that. So, what's your plan to nip that in the bud to protect the children and stop the human trafficking?
Well, for one, we need to make criminals criminals again. We need to, not let them get away with everything. You do a crime, you should do the time. And so the government nowadays is just so lax on everything. It don't matter what you do, you get out of jail 5 minutes later, nobody's going to quit doing crimes. And so, you're trafficking a kid, that should be high up there in how your punishment. Like, and we need to invest in that. We need to try to do everything we can to protect kids in every form, shape. I don't care what it is, how it is. There should be no question. If it comes to protecting a kid, we need to do it.
I got it. So, on your list of the most important, what are your top 3 that you're going to nip in the bud and as soon as you get into office?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm a farmer, so my close knit, thing of what I want, for me is obviously the state water board. That's going to be, you know, any of these unelected officials. I don't care where they're at. CARB, California Air Resource Board, the state water board, and there's more. California Coastal Commission. All of them are going to get a huge reality check and get put in check, and people are going to get fired, because it's long overdue. Um, we need to, the diesel truck bans in California is just, people wonder why their food costs are so high. It is so impossible to be a truck driver in California, and we have to fix that. I hear people saying, well, for day one, we're going to get rid of $2 a gallon of gas and all this. It'd be great, but it's reality. It may not happen that quick. It's just like, the current administration and the president's office said he was going to come in and do it one day. It's really hard to do that quick.
Mhm.
I think we can do a lot of things and maybe we can make it happen, but if you're promising it, I mean, I'm not going to believe anyone that's promising anything. So I would
Mm,
love to
mhm,
see the $2 a gallon gas cheaper. I mean,
mhm.
it hurts me every day of the week. So I will fight for that. What it's going to take, I don't know. We need to drill more oil in California. We need to reduce regulations. So, that's going to be on my top priority is to figure out the gas problem. It's where I live right now. There's a gas station. It's crazy. There's a gas station on the left side of the road. Diesel is $5.99 a gallon. There's a gas station on the right side of the road. Diesel's $4.99 a gallon. So it's $1 difference. That isn't
Mhm.
because taxes. They're the same gas stations, just one on one side, one on the other. So there's more going on than just taxes and the fuel prices. So we got to figure out where that issue is, and if people are price gouging or taking advantage or whatever it is. So there's a lot to do. I think the other thing is we need day one. We need to be if it doesn't happen before, we need to fund Prop 36. that needs to happen. It was supposed to happen, and the governor should be doing it now, because we got to get crime off the streets. It's hard for businesses to do business when they're just getting broken into and robbed, and
Mhm.
that nobody's doing anything about
Mhm.
what they're doing. So
Mhm.
that's got to happen. I noticed that he's kind of doing some stuff right now. I don't know if it's campaigning for president, but
Mhm.
how much effort is he really gonna put into it?
Right.
So I will put
Mhm.
110% effort into it, to make that happen. Um, I mean, there's just so much more that needs to get done.
Yes.
We need to reduce red tape across the board, like big time. And, I mean, I think the administration and the federal government says they're, for every new regulation, they got to get rid of so many. Well, it needs to be like 10 times that in California. Because I think I heard somewhere there's like so many regulations, like over 400 something thousand regulations in California. Like, how could anyone like us even
Right.
fathom understanding that stuff? Like,
Mhm.
it's crazy. So, maybe it needs to be like 40 or 50 regulations for one new regulation, like something crazy,
Right.
because
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's
Mhm.
just that's a wonder why it's so stalled in this state. We got to get
Well,
rid of that stuff.
let me ask you this, David. So, have you ever run for any elected office in the past?
No, I have not. And, and I hadn't planned to. Like, I just wanted to be a farmer and farm with my kids and give them to something to inherit. But I'm so on the verge of losing everything because of the state. I mean, if the state keeps going the way it is, there's not going to be farmers left in California.
Wow.
It's going to be bad. It's, like it's just not going to happen. We can't survive like this. And somebody's got to get in there that has common sense, that knows what to do, and that can, see through the BS,
Mhm.
because there's so much of it. And those people don't really, they're so focused on politics than really helping the people. I mean, I've been homeless. I know what it's like. I've been broke many of times recently. I know what it's like to struggle. Like, it's not easy. Those guys, they don't truly care about us. They don't truly care about the homeless. They're not really helping them people. So it's got to get people in there that actually have a heart, that want to help. And so,
Mm, I
you
love it.
know,
Love
I
it.
don't want to be a
Do-
politician ever. And
I
even
love
if
it.
I
I
was
hear your
there,
heart.
I'm still
Mhm.
going to be a farmer. I'm not going to be a politician. I don't want to be labeled a politician ever. So,
I
not
got
yet.
it. You are a farmer mogul. So, David, would you be open to the possibility of running for governor and at the same time putting your throwing the hat in for state water board?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open for anything. If there's any way I can help or make change in a positive way, I'm all for doing anything. So, I'm just trying to figure out where I fit in, and who,
Love it.
and just making
Mhm.
sure who's best for the job.
I
So,
love it. So,
and it,
would you
and
be willing to get behind, like if you saw there was another candidate that was fit for the job, would or like better fit for the job, if you felt that, you know what, I've waited out this person, I think he's going to be a better fit, and I'm going to be a better fit here. Would you be willing to collaborate and take on another role and, get behind another candidate?
that's been my whole thing. So that's what I'm planning to do. So, whether I'm in the front running or not, I want to be somewhere involved, and I will step right out of the way if I know there's somebody else that can win this, because we have to win this. There's
I
no
love
ifs,
it.
ands, or buts.
Yeah.
It's got to get done, and people need to vote no on Prop 50. Like, that has to
Hmm.
happen. That's going to set the tone for the election. So we need to make that happen.
Question right now. What is one bold move that you're going to make California great again? So, one bold move that you will make to make California great again.
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, I know my one of my main plans is, on day one, is I want to start the largest road paving operation that this state has ever seen, because our roads are in such bad shape. Like, when I get done, people are going to drive through California and they're going to know that something has been done in this state. And
Wow.
it's a visual thing, you know, like you drive down the road now and you see all these signs that say tax dollars at work, but you don't really see any work. We're going to see some work. So the state's going to get to work.
We are going to work. Come on. Collenberg 2026. David, I know people can reach you at Collenberg hold on, let me pop over here. I want to make sure that I'm saying that right. It is Collenberg, Collenberg 26.com. That's Collenberg26.com. Now, David, are there any final words, your call to action for we, the people?
We just need to flip California red. We can do this. We just got to work together. We got to collaborate. We got to put all our ideas in one basket and figure out who's the best to lead. And let's all make it happen.
Come on, come on. Heartland strength. David Kallenberg, that is the backbone that we need. David, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you
on
for having
round
me.
6 of the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. We're going to be talking to you very soon. And as soon as she gives, if that baby, if she goes into birth, if she starts, you got to let me know. I'll be praying for you guys.
Absolutely.
God bless you, David Kallenberg. Let's take our California back.